Tip for the day: don't buy your bed sheets at a gas station.
We've come a long, long way. I'm not afraid any longer. We've come a long, long way. Our love is getting stronger. We've come a long, long way, and the future's looking brighter. We've come a long, long way. Our love is so much tighter.
Hi, and welcome back to Kyle's Vlog. Thanks for joining us. In a few minutes I get to interview Peter Kallinteris, hot Hollywood agent of the Peter Kallinteris Talent Agency. But before that, I wanted to discuss something that's pressing to all of us professional actors: dental hygiene. It's always important that we present ourselves in the best light. So it's important that we go see our dentist at least twice a year. Because my next appointment is the day after the SAG Awards. The SAG Awards, oh crap. I'll be right back. Sorry that took so long. No, where were we? Oh yes. The Screen Actors Guild Awards are an awards show similar to the Oscars, the Tonys, the Grammys. But unlike those awards shows, the only people that can vote are card-carrying paid-up members of SAG-AFTRA. Unlike the Academy Awards, which celebrates best directing, photography, writing, producing, hair, makeup, wardrobe, the SAG Awards only celebrates the best in performances. Performances of actors nominated by actors. Also, these awards don't have as deep of a history. This is only their 25th year in existence. The first several years of handing out these trophies weren't even televised. So what are these awards? Well, they break down to two different categories: television and movies. In terms of the television side, a lot of the nominations are similar to what you saw back a few months ago for the Emmy Awards. And for the movies, they consider these to be the precursor to the Oscar nominations, which should be coming out any day. Also, the ceremony only lasts 2 hours or even less. There are 15 categories, of which 2, Outstanding Action Performance by a Stunt Ensemble in a Comedy or Drama Series, and Outstanding Action Performance by a Stunt Ensemble in a Motion Picture, are awarded before the television starts airing the ceremony. So who's nominated this year? All these people that are pretty much have already been established. The nominations are normally the regular Hollywood A-lists. But every now and then you see these really cool performances of these actors that you know are going to make it big. Maybe these awards can be a stepping stone. And instead of Best Picture, the most powerful award you can win is probably Outstanding Performance by a Cast. It goes for movies, TV shows, etc., but it celebrates the entire cast instead of just one person. So what's the point of these awards? Well, you get to see the actors wearing their outfits. Why yes, I am wearing Celix Tux Reynolds. But these awards, what do they matter as a whole? Quite a lot, actually. Actor X is an unknown actor. He performs in this great movie. He's getting paid a little bit above scale for a small role, but he blows it away, gets a nomination, or even the award, and people will remember him. Casting directors remember that and saying, hey, he would be really good. Bring him in for a reading. So maybe he's more castable. Or a movie Y, nobody's really watching it, but it got a couple nominations. It just won the Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture. Draws interest. Now people actually want to go see this. The next week, instead of making $5 million, it makes $30 million at the box office. So do the studios really think that this will affect us actors? Oh yes, yes they do. In the weeks leading up to Christmas, they announced the nominations for the SAG Awards. At that point, every publicist of every studio goes bat crazy to make sure every member of the voting union gets every chance to see every one of these films. I'm looking at my ballot and I see who was Outstanding Performance in a Male Actor. Christian Bale, he's always good. Bradley Cooper, excellent. Viggo Mortensen, yeah. John David Washington, yeah. Rami Malek, Bohemian Rhapsody. I didn't see that movie. I wanted to, but I never got a chance to. I wish I could vote for him. In the mail comes... These are called screeners. They send us a handful of these DVD copies for us to view at our home. After the awards show, we are to delete these. These are never supposed to be out of our reach. They cannot be pirated. They cannot be given or loaned to anybody. And specifically after the awards, these are to be destroyed. This year we got screeners for, I know, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, Beautiful Boy, Vice, Black Klansman, The Favorite, Can You Ever Forgive Me? You think television is any different? Ozark, The Comiskey Method, House of Cards, Glow, Maniac, The Handmaid's Tale. Again, these will all be destroyed after the awards ceremony, so there's no chance that these could be pirated or stolen. Sometimes they have screenings where they rent out a theater and they let you see the movie. Sometimes it's even before it's released to the public. Lots of movies had screenings. In some cases, for example, A Star is Born. You got to see the movie, and then after, as a special treat, Bradley Cooper comes out and does a 20-minute, 30-minute question-answer period. For Mary Poppins Returns, I know Emily Blunt was coming out and doing a question-and-answer period. Lots of them. Half the cast of Crazy Rich Asians came out during their screener. I even heard that Spike Lee attended some screenings and question-and-answer sessions for Black Klansman. Well, you probably have heard that some screeners appear on the internet because somebody decided to leak these movies so that everybody can see them without paying. That is true. So that's why some of the studios are trying a new system called streaming. Streaming, like Netflix, Hulu. So many movies can be streamed on your TV, computer, Apple TV, smart TV, without the fear of them getting into the wrong hands. Well, what happens if somebody illegally records it? Each one of these streaming videos has an embedded watermark. So if somebody finds a video of, let's say, Bohemian Rhapsody online, they can look for the watermark and the unions can say, okay, this video belonged to person XYZ. SAG and the studios do prosecute, so do not try to get illegal copies of these videos. Well, I have one more thing to show you, and this is probably the scariest. Before a show can become a nominee, it needs to get nominated. And by getting nominated, it has to be approved in almost like a pre-election from a committee. The committee is between 500 and 1,000 people. They're not giving the exact number, but they say it's between 500 and 1,000 current rank-and-file paid-up members of SAG-AFTRA. They're chosen at random, and the idea is that you're supposed to be on a committee every several years or such. There are two different kinds of committees. The television committee, the movie committee. And last year, I was fortunate enough to be on the television committee. This happens from about October to December, and the studios sent out a lot of crap. If I may. This is a booklet of pictures, things that were on AMC or the Sundance Channel. This is a picture book from The Crown. Mind you, these had DVDs in them at one point, but since then they've been destroyed. Magazines like you wouldn't believe. Hollywood Reporter, Backstage, Variety, all with advertisements in it. USA Network. This one had The Crown, Glow, Orange is the New Black, Stranger Things, Mad Hunt the Unabomber, Aziz Ansari, House of Cards. They love to send postcards. They love to send streaming codes. Hulu sent everybody on the television nominating committee this. It's from The Handmaid's Tale. It had the DVDs in them. Obviously, since then they've been destroyed. Brilliant advertisement. This is us. This TV show has become an epic phenomenon and has pretty much won every award it was probably nominated for. NBC sent me this. It's not of a season, it's not even of an episode. It's of 2.5 minutes on a DVD that just said, please consider voting for us. I can't even imagine how much it costs to make. And I can't even imagine how much it is to mail thousands of these. And the big one, Netflix.
Whatever is happening is spreading from this place.
I don't want to show too much because copyright infringement, but it did have a small 4-inch disposable screen on here. Amazing, huh? Now, if you will excuse me, I have some cars to valet. Number 5. Hollywood can be a dangerous place without the right representation. Sometimes finding the right one is like trying to find a pearl in an oyster. This is one of the nice guys that actually exists, and his name is Peter, and I'll introduce you in a second. Before we get started, I want to be transparent to say Peter does represent me. However, this is not to be used as a commercial. This should not be used as anything but entertainment, educational, and inspirational. With that being said, Peter Kallinteris, thank you for housing us and
Thank you for
spending
having
this
me.
time. So, Peter, you have a very wild life. The first thing I researched about you is Peter is not even your first name.
That is correct. My legal first name is Panayoti.
Yes. I'm glad you pronounced that because I couldn't.
I think what happened was because I was born in Greece,
Mhm.
and then when we migrated to the U.S., we left Greece and went to Canada, then worked our way down to Pennsylvania. I just think my kindergarten teacher couldn't pronounce it, and she said, "We'll call you Peter."
What part of Greece?
Athens.
How cool is that, really?
Athens is actually one of my favorite cities. I used to go every single year.
Was there a reason why your father moved here? Or your family moved?
They wanted a better life.
They didn't find it successful in the 70s and
My father was a boxer,
okay.
and then when I was born, he had to stop boxing. He was a champion boxer in Greece, and he met my mother, and she was 14 when she married him, and then my
Wow.
mom had me when she was 16. My grandparents were already moving to New York City, and my mother didn't want to go, so she stayed in Greece and married my father, and we ended up coming anyway.
First you moved to Canada, what part?
Toronto, in a Greek area called Danforth.
Then you moved to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You grew up as one of 4 kids.
I have a sister named Dina,
You know?
Nicole, and Sula.
Sula. What's it like being the only boy out of there? You were the oldest, right?
I was the oldest.
So you had to be overprotective?
No, because I was a man
Mm-hmm.
and I was the oldest, it was like I had senior, like everything went my way.
And your family was overprotective of the girls,
Yeah.
of course. You grew up and went here.
Yeah, Strasbourg High School.
You were a mountaineer. What were you like as a high school kid?
I was pretty popular.
Right.
I was friendly to everybody. Our classes were small. I think my
Mhm.
graduating class had like 120 people.
Were you a good student?
Yeah,
Did you show interest in acting at that point?
I did.
What
The
what-
first play I ever did, a musical, was Man of La Mancha. I played the barber.
It's a good-
Actually, that's what I have in the frame there.
Wow, you are a full.
I was
Guard.
I was 17 years old.
There's not many famous alumni from Stroudsburg High School. I've learned most of them are NFL players that graduated from there. Are you looking to become the most famous person from that school?
That's what I put in my high school yearbook quote, yes.
Were you more of a New York kid, kind of?
When I was about 16, I got an agent in New York City. That my mom, I don't even remember the name of the agency. I had horrible headshots, and I never went on an audition.
Wow.
I think it was one of those, sign with this agency. You have to take pictures with us. They're
Mhm.
$1,000.
Did you get the bug at what age, would you say?
I don't know. I wanted to be an actor when I was very young, and I wanted to be an actor for a long time. But as I got older, my interest lied in other things.
Okay.
So it wasn't such a need for me anymore. I don't have a desire to be an actor now at all.
Did you ever consider any other career outside of the entertainment field besides plumbing, which we'll get to in a minute?
For a brief moment, I wanted to be an archaeologist.
Wow. What drew that interest?
Just the ancient Greek ruins. I loved being around. I would go to the Parthenon Acropolis all the time when I was in Greece. I just loved being in that space.
You graduated Stroudsburg High.
I went to the University of the Arts.
University of Philadelphia. What made you want to go to the University of Arts in Philadelphia?
Well, when I graduated high school, I initially didn't want to go to college at all. I was young and I was like, I'm just going to move to LA and I'm going to be an actor. And my parents were like, either you go to college or you're going to be a plumber. And it was one of the only schools I applied to, and I got accepted to it.
Wow. It's a private school, right?
Yeah,
So which means expensive.
yeah.
There were plenty of famous people that graduated from that school. Jared Leto, Anna Ortiz, and Joe Dante from that school. Was it a very open environment to have
Yes.
you? How did it help you in your acting skills, you think? Not just in terms of acting skills, actually. How did it help you personally?
It allowed me to grow into my own person. I still have very strong friendships with some of the staff and a lot of my classmates, which also have moved here to Los Angeles. And some are producers and filmmakers, and there's some that are agents and managers. And we still maintain a close circle.
Oh.
It was one of the best experiences of my life.
How did you get stuck being the vice president of a specific plumbing and heating company?
It was my dad's company. When I moved, when I did graduate college in 1997, I moved to Los Angeles to be an actor. And there was a housing boom.
Yes.
In the Poconos where we lived in Strasbourg. And we worked for builders, and they were building over 500 homes a year. And we were doing the plumbing for all of them. And my dad had an extremely successful business, and I wanted to be a part of that. So I left Los Angeles and I went back to Pennsylvania to take over his business.
Do you ever wonder what if you decided to stay in Pennsylvania, would you still be a plumber?
I don't look back on my life and think of what if.
Okay.
I move forward and live in the choice I made to be here.
You're saying you wouldn't want to be driving this vehicle every day?
No.
So at this point, you are now living in LA. You moved out here by yourself?
Yeah. I moved
Okay.
back to Pennsylvania in 2002, and then I moved back to LA 2012.
To make a couple bucks to get a lower life experience, etc.?
The market had crashed
Mm-hmm.
in 2008, and by 2010, no one was building. And the company that we had, it just kept getting downsized and downsized and downsized, where it got to the point that I wouldn't even be able to sustain my own lifestyle in Pennsylvania. I ended up choosing to not work as a plumber and not be a part of the company, and I walked away from it. And it was tough. I became depressed. I had my house, but I had no way to pay for it. And then I had a bike that I just started riding one day just to clear my thoughts.
Bicycle.
And I would bicycle every day. I got to the point where I was riding 20 miles a day.
Nice.
And what that gave me was strength in finding myself. There was a moment where there was a 2-mile incline on this hill, and I put my bike on the hardest gear, and I went up it. I mean, I was shaking because it was so difficult. But when I got to the top, and I was like, I couldn't even breathe. But by this point, it was like 3 months into it, and I had become like this machine. I felt that I could do anything I wanted in the world, that the only thing that would stop me was me. And what did I want to do? I said, I want to be in the entertainment industry. That's something I've always loved, and this is my life. And I literally got on a plane a couple days later. I bought a ticket, a round-trip ticket for 1 week. And I gave myself 1 week to find a job. And on my last day, I was hired at Cavallari & Associates.
Wow.
Ironically, when I look back at everything now, I see how all the pieces fit together, and it gives me the validation as I move forward, even opening up my own agency, which I recently did, that I know that I'm on the right path.
When did you realize it's agency versus acting that you wanted to pursue?
So, again, as I look back on my life and I understand, there was a point in time when I was in my early teens, like 13, 12, where I used to record TV commercials on VHS tapes. And I probably have 6, 7, 10-hour tapes just of commercials. But at the time, I was taping them because I wanted to see what commercials would be like when I grew up.
Oh, wow.
Compared to what they look like now in 1987. And I ended up becoming a commercial agent.
Biggest faux pas mistake you saw about commercials back then that would help an actor today?
Whatever marketing worked back then that they used to sell whatever product they had was what was needed at that time. Back then it was more spokesperson-y, like, buy this. Today they want real, relatable, a real looking person. You know, you're not gonna have a supermodel going into Home Depot to buy a plunger. I became really good at it really fast. And I loved doing it, and I still love commercials. For me, it's when I submit actors on a commercial, I'm saying to that casting office, to their client, you know, I think that this person really would represent what you're trying to say. And then when my actors do book those commercials, I feel like I'm making an impact on millions of people.
Well, that's true.
Because I picked you to represent this product, and they agreed with me, and they put you in the spot, and you're buying that shirt because I thought that someone like you would fit it best, but you don't know that. So I feel as if I'm making a difference in the world in such a mass scale, but no one even knows.
The difference between a theatrical agent versus a commercial agent. What kind of eye do you need differently? What kind of thought process?
They're completely different. Commercials, they always want new faces, fresh faces. In most cases, you don't even really need to know how to act because most commercials you don't speak. It's just a look, a lot of times. On the theatrical side, I've been a theatrical agent at different agencies throughout my career. It's very specific on what they're looking for. Acting is a requirement. There are actors that are amazing at commercials, and they're commercial gold, and that's where their careers lie. But when they try to make a crossover to the theatrical world, it doesn't fit.
What about the balance?
And there's actors who are theatrical actors. They just never go out for commercials. Like I can't explain it. You can just see it.
Is there a balance you think that an actor can attain to be both commercial and theatrical?
Yes.
How difficult is it?
It takes a special person.
There's an old expression in the industry. An agent gets 10%, so that means the agent is responsible for 10% of the work versus the talent, which is responsible for 90% of the work. Do you agree with that?
So when I choose to take on an actor that I want to work with, for me, I look at us as a team. I'm always very transparent with my actors, and I expect the same in return. It's not about a percentage to me. It's about following through with what we committed to and booking the job. There are times that actor might have a stronger relationship with that casting office than I do, or vice versa. So it's a two-way system. Okay. I may need you, and you might need me. Obviously, when it comes to dealing with contracts, my experience is most likely greater than yours. Mm-hmm. So that's where I become of value to you. But maybe, your mother's best friend is the biggest casting agent in Los Angeles, so you have that open relationship there mm-hmm. that maybe I wasn't able to attain. So I always look at us as a team.
What so far has been your biggest professional victory?
As of right now, mm-hmm. I would say opening up my own agency, Peter Kallinteris Agency. I've wanted to do it for a long time, and it just had to be right. I had to develop those relationships with casting, with actors, and I had to be in a place of trust. And I felt that I was ready, so I went for it.
I'm not sure how private you are about this, but you have an amazing daughter. She is, 5 now?
4.
4? She has the most precocious smile. What if she wanted to go into acting? Would you tell her yes or no?
Well, again, I have a transparent relationship with her. I don't treat her like a child. I talk to her like a person. Mm-hmm. And I did ask her if she would like to be an actor, and she told me no, she wants to be a mermaid.
Oh, okay.
And of course, I have to support that decision.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, if she wants to be an actor, I would welcome her to do it. I would, of course, help her along the way. I'm not here to force her to do anything. She's her own independent person, and she'll grow into that, and she can become whatever she wants to become. I'll support her either way.
You give a lot of advice to actors. What's the one thing that you think a lot of the actors today need to hear?
Trust yourself.
Do you still believe in this?
That I'm a star?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
What is the best way for somebody to follow you through the social medias?
As of right now, the best way to reach me is through my website, which is peterkagency.com, www.peterkagency.com. And there's links on there where you can get in touch with me.
Okay, well, I appreciate the time. You've been very generous to not only to this production, but also to me personally. So thank you so much for this time, and I can't wait to see what happens next in your life.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank Peter Kallinteris for allowing me to interview him and being my special guest this episode. Also, I want to wish best of luck to all my SAG brothers and sisters who are nominated for the awards this weekend. And I want to thank you guys for watching. As always, you can reach me on Instagram and Twitter at Isao, or you could email me, askkyleaquestion@gmail.com. So until the next time, from Hollywood, that's a wrap. I have been rejected by every casting director in this town. I have been trying to audition for every show that's ever been made. After 20 years, I'm still trying, and I'm going to continue till I get it right. I'm Isao, and I'm an actor.